Maybe there's something in
you are on
what I brought into it.
Okay, so I have you to blame for that.
Yeah, but
So,
yeah, he's doing okay last time I checked, so maybe that's such a bad thing.
so power pop. I guess. I'll stick with the short answer.
That's as good as any. You guys, how would you describe your style?
It's a hip life.
Hip life. Oh, tell us a little more about hip life.
A lot of our listeners in Canada may not be familiar with the genre, so maybe give us a bit of the history behind it.
Alright, hip life was came about back home in Ghana, right? The style of music we do back home is called a high life. Like we using as drums and guitar to create our own songs, live band, and that's called a high life back home. But a guy he was in Ghana, based in US, went back home to bring up something the youth could enjoy, because those high life were for the old men and women.
Yeah.
So he came about with a hip life and a hip hop scene in Ghana, but you can't speak English and call it hip life in Ghana. He was using our local language. That is a high life. He came from the high life. He got a high, right? Okay. So the hip hop word came from the. He got a hip life from the hip hop.
Okay.
Hip life. That's the hip from the hip hop, and the life from the high life we do back home. So it's a mixture of like high life and then the hip hop.
Yeah. So like it comes out as hip hop with sort of a traditional instrumental backing.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
That's it.
Do you have a live band backing you when you play?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently this style is also starting to make waves in Canada and the States right now. Like a lot of people are bringing the sound over.
Yeah, from back home, Africa. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, last year summertime we had a guy from Ghana. Afrofest? Yeah, there was a guy from Ghana, Samini. He performed live with his Jamaican guys and all those guys from all over the world, and it was really nice. And we're planning to get it this year too. Like we for few boys wanna go there to do our own thing. Yeah, to represent Africa, like African music. Yeah.
Nice. And with a little bit of Canadian influence now too.
Yes.
Awesome. Now, talking about musical roots and style, have you always been into the same sort of style, or has it sort of evolved over the years of you listening to music?
Yeah, it changes. It changes. Like every year, new style comes.
Yeah.
And then, as we say, you have to go with the flow. At times, you have to do what the people want.
Yeah.
You can't just do something that because you think is good for you. Then you have to listen to it yourself. So you have to do what the people want. So as it changes,
it also changes.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. If I was a producer and I said, "Do I want you to do a disco record?"
I'll do it.
Yeah.
You would do it?
I'll do it.
Would you do it, Ramona?
There's already a dance remix of one of our tracks, actually.
Oh, sweet.
You see, music doesn't die out. It doesn't fade out. You see, right now you go
Even
back. Disco people dance to it.
Disco was making a comeback too.
Yeah, it will.
Scary.
Trust me. A few years to come, it will. Because music, it goes and it comes back. It goes, comes back. It goes. It doesn't fade out.
Yeah.
That's music.
People forget like most of the way about it, I guess, and then one person is like, "Hey, remember that thing?"
I remember I went to a club I think last 2 weeks and I heard some old school song like 15 years ago, and people were just dancing to it. I forgot the song, like they were just dancing. Oh yeah, I remember those days. I was a kid and I heard this song. So
yeah.
they were happy.
You get that nostalgia going too.
Yes, they were really happy to hear that song. So if I had an idea down there, oh yeah, I could just create something with this and come out and people would just be dancing to this. That's it. I had an idea, but it takes time to write your lyrics and put stuff together. Comes out, and it's good.
That's fair enough though. Dancing makes people happy and it gets them more into your music. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta put out a disco hit.
I will try to.
Yeah. Well, someone told me once that as a drummer, if people aren't dancing, you're not doing your job. Whether you're playing in a wedding band or a metal band, it doesn't matter.
Like just you though? That's a pretty heavy burden.
Well, this is what we have to deal with.
That groove.
You know, but I mean, it's you know, the bass player, no matter who, the band, if people aren't grooving to your music, no matter what it is and how they do it, you're doing something wrong. Or you're just not doing it well enough anyway.
So your name is entertainer, right?
Yeah.
You have to make them happy. Sometimes we go on stage and like we play our own song, people are not dancing. We try to create something for people to pay attention, people to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
You could stop the music, create something, you know, communicate with them to get their attention.
Are your live performances also very sporadic?
We do both, but most of the time the live band is really expensive to come get people together, so we just do the other one.
Do you find the audiences in Canada are different than audiences in Ghana? Like when you go to shows, like are people more receptive here or back home?
Back home is really good, you know.
Yeah.
Here they're all about Jay-Z, Drake, you know. They're all talking about Jay-Z, Drake. So it's really hard for we the hip hop artists, and it's not established down here like as hip hop as that. So we're trying a few artists here, like we're doing a hip hop, trying to hold it down here to make it established here. US, North America. Right now Europe, I think Europe is better down there because Europe is close to Africa, like, you know.
Yes, sir.
But here we're trying to create something to establish it here, so that soon time BET you start playing hip life songs and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
I can imagine it would be hard for new hip-hop artists in Canada to make a break in Canadian news when it's all just saturated with artists from across the border.
And we're trying to make good collabos with one of the hip-hop artists. That's what my manager is working on right now. I think a year ago or two, we tried to get Drake. We went to Montreal, we met him, we're trying to buy. You know, I heard he got signed to then.
Young Money.
So
he's too important now.
Actually got signed.
Oh yeah, he got signed to Young Money. Right now we can't even afford to pay that huge sum of money. You know, but we're trying. My manager is trying hard to get one hip hop artist to do a good, you know, collaboration, hip hop mix.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to that. And for sure, it's gonna come up. I'm waiting for that. See, the local language mixed with English. Excellent.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Now we were talking about musical evolution earlier. We never gave you guys a chance to answer. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, has your music been changing?